So the version 4 firmware for the A7S3 is out. I'm not going to talk much about the photography, Wi-Fi or Creators app changes. This is mainly going to be about video. So if you need any of those, go have a read about them on the Sony website, which I've linked below. The biggest change comes in the form of the log shooting mode and the loss of the S-Log2 picture profile. Log shooting is found in the same menu page as the FX3 and FX30 under Shooting, Image Quality, Log Shooting Settings. There's no addition of the Cine AI mode, that is still reserved for the FX series, but selecting flexible ISO then allows you to choose between the S-Gamut 3 and the S-Gamut 3.Cine color gamut. When you have log shooting enabled, Gamut Display Assist no longer works, and instead you rely on the LUT system similar to the FX line. This can be found in the Exposure Color page under the Color and Tone tab. When a LUT is selected, it will automatically apply to your screen, and zebras will get affected through these LUTs. So if you do need to expose for S-Log through it, it might be handy to change one of your rear buttons to the Select LUT function now, instead of Gamut Display Assist. You can load custom LUTs now. There are a ton of videos on how to do this correctly, so I will not go into it. Just know that you need to make a 33-point cube LUT file in order to make it work. And if you don't want to view your LUT in playback, you can turn it off in Setup, Display Option, Display LUT. If you still want to use picture profiles for S-Cinetone and S-Log3, you can. You just need to disable log shooting, and then they work as normal. Granted, there is no more S-Log2 gamut. If you absolutely need a workaround, you are going to need to fix it in post, so get ready to use the Color Space Transform effect in DaVinci Resolve, or shoot raw and then decode it into the S-Log2 color space later on. Next, out of all the settings the update could have messed with, my touch tracking reverted to touch focus, which I absolutely cannot stand, and I strongly suggest everyone changes this if you're shooting video. It's in a pretty stupid spot, so go to Setup, Touch Operation, Touch Panel Settings, Shooting Screen, and under the tab Touch Function in Shooting, you'll be able to switch it. Little tip, if you want to get rid of those buttons when in touch operation mode that appear on your screen, rapidly slide from the center out and they should disappear. It might take a while, it's a bit fiddly, keep at it, they'll go away. Sony also added the golden ratio grid, which I'm probably not going to use. If you want it, you'll need to turn off your marker display function first, then select golden ratio from the shooting display tab and select grid line type. The next feature is the addition of flags in shooting. I really enjoy this, but I don't see it being super effective for this style of camera, specifically alpha cameras. The FX6 has a dedicated flag button that just allows post-production to have an easier time, but I expect most people shooting on this camera are single shooter editor combos who are going to be there on the day and probably know what shots they're going to use. If you do want to save yourself a bit of time, you can enable it by going to Setup, Operation Customize, Custom Key, then select a button you want to map, and you'll find the different flags under Shooting, Selection Memo. Another additional feature, if you click Add Shot Mark 1 as an assigned button, then the camera will generate a still image at the time you press the button during recording. You can also set this up to generate a still image for every time you press record by going to Shooting, Shooting Option, and checking Auto Create Still Image. Moving over into the apps world, everyone should have monitor and control installed on a phone if you're using this camera. It has false color and remote shooting features, and that should sell you on it. They've added clip review during camera playback, so it's now a little bit easier to review footage on set just from your phone. We also get Focus Map, which separates the foreground and background and helps you nail where your peak focus is. If you're operating at a wide aperture, it's definitely going to be a bit more accurate than using peaking, but it's only for supported lenses with focus data. Manual focus cinema and vintage lenses aren't going to benefit from this. They've also added a scroll bar for aperture control. I tested this on my Sony 90mm, and despite my phone vibrating as I moved through the f-stops, the actual aperture changes appeared stepless in the footage. This would allow a second operator to control your aperture remotely if you're operating a gimbal and need to move between an exterior and an interior in the same shot. Over in the Creators app, Sony have added network streaming, so you can now stream directly from your camera to YouTube or other live streaming platform. If you have a custom setup, in theory there should be a way to set this up as a remote camera to allow you to stream onto an untethered computer running OBS. All in all, the update was fairly painless for me and I don't regret it. I don't use Slog 2 and really not that much has changed operations-wise outside of that since version 3. Just remember, you cannot roll back your camera once it's been installed, or at least you can't roll it back very nicely. I would recommend updating through SD cards, as I feel it's a little bit more stable than the Catalyst app. And it's important that you just do not touch your camera while the update's going on. If you haven't updated before, the screen will stay black for quite a long time. Just leave it to do its thing, and it will pop back to life when it's finished. That's everything I wanted to cover. Good luck out there, and I'll see you later.